Well, hello, Loots. Welcome again to my backyard for another edition of PE 100 Goes Viral. Not virus, viral. So, I wanted to bring you some new concepts in fitness. Now that I know you're creating the habit of exercising at least several times a week, you're starting to feel the good vibes from that, hopefully starting to make the connection between exercise and mental health, the stress reduction benefits you get from that, some of those feel good hormones hopefully kicking in a little bit, just that kind of overall sense of wellness, especially when you get a good sweat on. I don't know about you, but for me, that feels pretty good, especially now with everything going on. So I wanted to cover some really important concepts today. So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about this big giant, it's got to be a really good Scrabble word. It's called proprioception. We'll also talk about and go through body weight circuit training. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about body weight circuit training. Don't forget my mantra, if you get sloppy, you must stoppy. That's right. Right. Good. That doesn't mean when your muscles are getting achy and they're burning because you're doing the right thing. That's not what we're talking about. If we're talking about when you start to get sloppy, fatigue is starting to change the way you do the exercise, maybe your joints start to hurt a little bit, that's when you have to stop, reset, and then hopefully start back up again or select another exercise. And I'll give you some options here today. This body weight circuit is going to take you through what is called an exercise cycle and then an active rest cycle. That means that your heart rate is going to be elevated the entire time. There's no like true rest, but you'll have a chance to kind of recover your breath before the next exercise. And it's a total body workout. You're going to work your upper body, lower body, your core, front side, back side, right side, left side. And that type of exercise, that type of workout is really great for ensuring that we are muscularly balanced, that we're not overworking one side and underworking another, overstretching, understretching, things like that. So this concept is super important. I will demonstrate all of these exercises for you, and these are all in the body weight circuit that I will make sure to send to you again. I sent it to you earlier in the session, but I'll send it to you again with this video. So this concept of proprioception, you use this concept of proprioception every single day. Let me give you some examples of how you use proprioception. They're kind of funny, and they save you from embarrassment every day. So we have these little tiny proprioceptors they're part of our central nervous system, and let me show you what they do. So if you'll do this with me, if you will please stand on one foot, okay? And if hopefully you can see what my foot is doing, and you can feel what your foot is doing when you stand on one foot, okay? So let's do this with your eyes open, and then try closing your eyes and see what happens. Okay, open your eyes. So you will notice that your foot was doing this the entire time. When we closed our eyes, we got a little shakier and maybe even fell over. Totally normal. So it's a little bit different than balance. Balance comes from our combination of vision and sensors in our ears and a lot of other sensory factors. Proprioception assists in that balance, but it's also related to coordination and reaction time quickness. So these little cells in your nervous system are embedded in all of your in all of your muscles, skeletal muscles in your body, and they tell your body where you are in space. So let's say you're walking along and all of a sudden you do this and it's like, oh, okay, whoa, I almost fell down. That would have been so embarrassing. What happened is, get this, your brain, faster than you could think it, sensed that, whoa, these proprioceptors here go, uh-oh, my ankle is turning, these muscles over here go, I better right it. And then the muscles have to balance out the amount of strength and tension they're applying to right your ankle. So it's kind of like a ship out at sea when it's anchored. That ship never stays stationary. It's always kind of going back and forth. Well, our body kind of does that all the time for us in an attempt to keep us upright if we want to be upright, or in whatever position that we desire. Another example is we know we can close our eyes, take a fork, get some salad onto our fork and bring it to our mouth with our eyes closed. If we didn't have proprioceptors, we would have to tell ourselves, okay, oh, I just stabbed myself in the eye with the fork. Bad day. Proprioceptors would have been really beneficial at that point. So we are so lucky, so fortunate to have working proprioceptors that help us do these things so we don't even have to think about them. There are people in the world, a handful of people who have lost the sense of proprioception due to viral infections, things like that, trauma. And if you want to look one up, Ian Waterman is an amazing story of someone who overcame the loss of proprioception. So I highly recommend watching his video. So on that note, I am going to now take you through this lesson, this workout, and we're going to incorporate some proprioception exercises. If you are the self-proclaimed klutz and you're always rolling your ankle or doing things like that, proprioception exercises are going to be your best friend. Simple things. You can stand, brush your teeth in the morning on your left leg, brush your teeth in the evening on your right leg. You are practicing proprioception. When you're standing in the line, you can be standing on one foot. Nobody even notices the difference, okay? Nobody's going to notice that. So there's just easy things. If we are standing on one foot, especially then when we remove the sense of sight, and now we are testing and strengthening our proprioceptors. So the faster they can respond, the better for us. The less likely we are to fall, trip, lose our balance, things like that. So that means a safer and less embarrassing future. So anyway, Levi is here to assist. All right, let's get going on this body weight workout. So the first exercise we have is penguin crunches. So I have a mat here. You can use the ground. So basically, you are just going to, sorry boy, act kind of like a penguin. You adjust the intensity by how close or how far away your heels are from you. And you simply go back and forth, back and forth. This is great for developing your obliques and your core muscles, okay? And I would say you could do all of these, set a timer, 15 seconds on, and then 15 seconds for your active rest. Our active rest in this case is just going to be some very basic lunges. Remember that before you've started this workout, hopefully you have warmed up, okay? Warming up is super important. You could also go straight into this workout and use the first round as your warm-up. So you do an entire round of exercises, nice and easy, get your body warmed up, and then go through it all again at a higher intensity for your actual warm-up. Okay, so we just did station 1, penguin crunches, and our active rest was the lunge. Jumping jacks. We have your basic jumping jacks that you've probably done since elementary school. This time I want you to think about big arms, big arms. None of this kind of partial jumping jacks. Think about stretching out those shoulders, stretching, okay? So big arm jumping jacks. If this is not working for your lower body, the intensity, maybe you have an ankle issue or a knee issue, this is a fantastic option. As you can hear in my voice, my heart rate is getting up there. Therefore, my breathing rate is getting up there as well. Then we've got skip. And we can skip in place, or we can skip around the yard, depending on where you are. Okay? And really trying to make this very, very coordinated and precise movements. Again, we are trying to develop muscular balance and everything to be working in tune with each other. So we have jumping jacks and our skip for our second station. Standing crunches. I love doing things that are functional. Sorry, wow, I got my heart rate up there pretty good. Whew, okay. Standing crunches. I love these instead of being on the ground. I don't do a whole lot of things during my day on the ground, but I do a lot of things upright where I'm twisting. So, boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Do about 15 seconds of these. Using your core to pull your leg up and to bring your elbow down. Coordinating. Perfect form. Perfect form. Okay? You should feel that all the way through here. Then you get a little jog break. All right. This is that active rest. Heart rate comes down a little bit, but not completely to a resting state. Okay, burpees. How many of you love to hate burpees? Yeah, burpees are intimidating. But let me break down a burpee for you because actually it's pretty cool. If you take a look at a burpee, basically it is a squat, hands go down, feet come back, here, high plank, here, up, jump. You can add a push-up down at the bottom to make it more challenging. So let's say burpees are not your thing. So basically you can modify it. Go here, 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 here. You don't even have to do the stand up part, especially if that part makes you dizzy, okay? If this part makes you dizzy, then just don't do that part. You will still benefit, and actually it's called a froggy squat. So squat, hands down, feet, hold, here, here, froggy squat. Boom, 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 froggy squat. So that's the breakdown of a burpee, okay? So there's a lot of different levels. So we can start with something, a burpee like that, and then eventually gradually, slowly over time, increase that intensity, okay? So don't be afraid of burpees. They're a great exercise to love to hate. All right, so after a burpee, you get to go for a walk. Burpees are gonna sky your heart rate. Hopefully you'd be sweating by now. And so just a nice kick in it, a walk around the living room or around the backyard is exactly what you need to get that heart rate down a little bit so you can prepare for flutter kicks. I add in flutter kicks because they're really a common exercise. A lot of gyms utilize them in their in workout classes, but they're often done poorly. So that's why I wanted to include them here so we can talk about that. So you can be prepared if you go to a group fitness class or to a workout class. It's really hard for instructors in those positions to correct everybody. One instructor to 15 to 30 students in a class. So understanding, we talked about the core and engaging that core. Remember, pretending like somebody's going to come up and poke you. So we're going to get into that really good core posture. That, all right, I am ready. So when you get down on the ground to do your flutter kick, you have to make sure that you are engaging the core. Do you see what happened there? I'm pressing down, hands coming under the buttocks, and feet out like this. Now, if you have a strong core, you can start with your feet out all the way out. If you're not ready for that, come up here. I would recommend, though, that everybody start here. Test your core stability. If your back starts to arch like this while you are doing any core exercise, your core is not strong enough for that particular exercise and you need to take it back. So these are actually called dead bugs. I know that sounds funny, but it's an actual physical therapy exercise. So you can do marching, and then you do marching like this, and then eventually you could work up to doing a flutter kick. So if you are in an exercise class and they're telling you, oh, we're doing flutter kicks now, just say, I'm good. This is where I am right now. This is the level that I am on right now. I'm good, thank you. So advocating for yourself in fitness classes is also really important. I've been to classes myself. They don't know that I teach this. And I just want to kind of see what are the instructors doing? How are they teaching and how are they correcting exercise? Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. Sometimes I'm really disappointed. One thing, I have an issue with my wrist. I can't put my hand down on the ground. So when I go to do anything with my hands like this, I have to do so like that. I can't do push-ups like this. I have to do them this way. So I've learned to accommodate for that. If you're not ready for the full-blown flutter kicks, but the rest of the class is doing them, don't just get into that herd mentality and do it because they are. Know that, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I'm gonna do those marchers until I'm ready, okay? Advocate for yourself. All right, after we do those flutter kicks, we've got soldier kicks, and these should feel really good by now. A nice stretch in the hamstrings back here and in the glutes, and after doing some burpees, that should feel really, really good. So if you can only go here, that's fine. Okay, so nice, good form. You're not just flailing your feet just so that you can touch your toes, okay? All right, push-ups. Okay, good. So what I was saying last time in a previous video, push-ups. There's a lot of different ways to do push-ups, all right? So you could start right here. Boom, boom. Bring those knees back. Boom, boom. You could go to your feet. If you're ready for this type of push-up, go for it. But remember, once you start getting saggy, if you get sloppy, you must stoppy. Nice, nice. If you have a shelf or something, you can also do push-ups on a counter, in the bathroom counter, kitchen counter. I love those. I love those. Those are actually my favorite now that I'm 51 years old. So, okay, side shuffle to the right. It's kind of hard to demonstrate this, but a shuffle. Okay, so what you could do in a smaller space is just shuffle like this. Okay, trying to coordinate upper and lower body. All right. So again, keeping that heart rate up, but still that active rest. All right. Jump squats, a lot of different ways to do these jump squats. You could do the big, huge, high intensity squat, making sure you're getting the booty back there, okay? Boom. You could also do, if that's not gonna work with your knees, you could do mini squats, these pulses. So instead of the jump, you're pulsing, okay? These are gonna fry your quads. Okay, don't worry that you're not doing the jump. Your quads will hate you anyway, but it's only temporary. Okay, you could also do single leg, okay? The single leg, maybe you go 10 and then change sides. So you are doing the same number on the right side and the left side. And you're also working your ding, 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 proprioception. Yes, good. All right. Okay, now we have the side shuffle left. So again, we could just do our shuffling like this because you're probably in a smaller space right now. All right, okay. Hair, makeup, I need my hair and makeup people. All right, pardon me for one moment. As you probably can tell, make sure that you have a coordinated outfit when you work out. You know, that matters. So, actually, I think today is the first day I've coordinated my clothes in probably 6 weeks. So, that's just to be honest with you. Feeling good, looking good, feeling good. All right, so jump squats, side shuffle, quadrupeds. We're gonna really slow it down here and do a very, very precise kind of core total body movement here. So a quadruped just means you're down on all fours, okay? And you're gonna lock it in. Lock in that core. I'll tuck this in so you can kind of see what it looks like when you lock in the core. So instead of being saggy, lock in the core, okay? Right now I should be able to have a plate of meatballs on my back and they should not roll off, okay? Do not let the meatball roll onto the floor and heaven forbid out the door. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to take it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are ready for the next level, you can alternate. Don't hike that hip. Don't let those meatballs roll off the floor, off your back. This is a great exercise if you can do this one in front of a mirror or have somebody watch you, because it can be really hard to tell if you are maintaining that neutral spine, that nice flat back, okay? Slow and controlled movement for the quadruped. Okay, the bound, like Superman, okay? So this is, I hope you can see me over here, but you are going to bound and stick it, bound and stick it, bound and stick it. So the idea here is to jump, stick it, jump, stick it, okay? So you are getting a dynamic movement and then hold. Dynamic movement, hold. Dynamic movement, hold. Dynamic movement, hold. So you are working your proprioception. Okay, so that is a bound. We are going to skip builders and bulldozers. It's kind of a fun tag game, but you have to have another person for that, and some cones, and I don't have those here with me. So, but on the horse is this movement. This one should feel really good after doing bounds. Okay, so those bounds are designed to be done on an angle like this, and really works those groin muscles. So on the horse, yeehaw! I'm from Texas, so we get on the horse. Yeah. All right. All right, giddy up. Let's move on. Mountain climbers. Okay, you can get on the ground to do mountain climbers. You can do mountain climbers standing up like this. Okay, you can do them lower intensity. You can start adding the leg out to the side. Okay, so there are a lot of different intensity levels. You could do your mountain climber like this. Okay, you don't have to stick to a very kind of concrete mold on these things. Just because it's called a mountain climber and you learn how to do mountain climber one way, doesn't mean you can't modify it and adjust it to fit your needs. Okay, this is all about working your body in the best possible way. All right, sprint. All right, we are gonna get out there, and if you have the room, do a sprint. If not, you can just do some fast feet. All right, we are trying on that one to get the heart rate up, okay? Now we're gonna go on to plank progressions. Not everybody is ready for this. To be honest, since I injured my wrist, I have a hard time doing plank progressions. In my workouts, I don't do them at all anymore. I just do the plain old plank. But some of those progressions are, you can do planks here. You can do planks here. You can do those are called rainbow planks. You can do jack planks, okay? The ones I was talking about that I can't do anymore, I'll try to do one for you, is the plank up, down, press, press, and then down, down, press, press, down, down. I did it. Did not feel good though. So I don't do it. There's way too many things, too many options to do one that is going to exacerbate an injury or cause an injury, okay? Okay, lunge with a twist. This one should actually feel pretty good right now. This is just a slow lunge where you can get a little bit of a twist here, twist here. You can see that my lower body is shaking a little bit, okay, because I'm working proprioception. All right, so there we go. A nice lunge with a twist. Sumo squats. Oh, oh. Sumo. Oh. Ah. Make sure those knees are in alignment with the toes. Okay, 45-degree angle. Must do sound effects. Makes life good. That didn't sound like sumo, but that's okay. All right, so there's your sumo squats. Make sure, again, from the side, that butt is going back. That butt's got to be going back, not here, okay? Remember, if you're in a porta potty and this is the position you're in when you decide to let things go, it's going to be a bad day. Get it? Okay. All right. Butt kickers. No, you don't get to kick somebody else's butt. You kick your own butt. High intensity like that, or lower intensity like this. The idea is to stretch out your quads. So it doesn't matter which one you do, high or lower intensity, they both get the job done. Okay? All right, skaters. I love these. Y'all know who Apollo Ono is? I love him. So we are going to harness our inner Apollo Ono. Again, sound effects. If you're not quite ready for Apollo Ono level, you're sticking it like those bounds. Stick, 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 stick. Okay, sticking that landing, all right, is the important part there. So this is one foot on the ground. Your other foot does not touch. It stays up unless you need it to give you a quick balance check. Okay? All right, off the horse. Eventually, every Texan's got to get off the horse. Boom. Okay, again, kind of opening up those hips. Oh, feeling good. Flamingo, another one designed to really slow down and focus on form. Okay, I'm not going to do this one on the mat. Actually, it's pretty darn challenging when you're on a soft surface. So this would be really good, especially if you could do this one barefoot. But I'll just show you here. So hands are coming out like this, super slow. Keeping this planted leg relatively straight. You'll see my proprioceptors are working hard. If you can, touch, and super slow. Coming back. On this, if you can really plant your toes, we talked about that in a previous video. Get your feet into the right position to utilize all those little muscles in your feet. They're underutilized, and if we can develop those, again, we're going to decrease our risk of falling, decrease our risk of injury. And I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty good. So plant that foot, splay those toes, dig the outside of the foot into the ground, and that actually will help stabilize. Wow, that was not a good example, but that will help you stabilize as you do the exercise. And I don't know if you could see that, but my toes are actively working. My foot is actively working. And every little muscle in there is actively working. Okay, so that's just a win-win. Okay, so after those, we've got some high knees. Okay, you can do high knees this way. I like doing them this way, a little lower intensity. I feel more of a stretch. Okay, so again, I can bring my knees up higher when I go a little slower. So doesn't mean one way is better. They're just different, but super coordinated. Okay, arms and legs, coordinated movements. And we are back. We are down to our last exercise, plank jacks. I actually incorporated that into the plank progression. But again, you can do a high plank. Make sure that core is stable. If you get sloppy, yeah, you know. Or down here. All right, last one, log roll. I think I was about 47 years old when the log roll became my nemesis. I used to love doing the log roll. This type of log roll is designed, you lay on the ground, your hands up, and you don't just start rolling, you make your core roll for you. And I realized one day when I got up that it makes me sick. I get dizzy. So I'll show you a very quick log roll just to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here you are. Yeah. There you go. Now I'll stay here so I don't get too dizzy. So anyway, I'll just stay here then. That is our body weight circuit. Don't forget at the end of this to do some type of cool down. You can even go through some of these exercises and just go nice and light. You could go out and do just a nice 5-minute walk as your cool down. So these things don't have to be fancy. Your warm up and your cool down don't have to be fancy. In fact, there's nothing fancy about this body weight circuit that y'all just did, but it's effective. We have worked every area of the body. You can do it in your own living room, no equipment needed. You could do this with your kids if you have them, with your parents if you have them, grandparents. You could get the entire family doing some version of this all in the same room, all at the same time. And I love that about circuit training. It's inclusive of everyone. I used to teach adaptive physical education. I could have students in